Baking with Kauna. So today I'm going to learn how to make chocolate cake. Like, this is the best chocolate recipe in town. So we're going to start from measuring our ingredients. Here we're going to be using flour, brown sugar, white sugar, baking powder, vanilla flavor, vegetable oil, melted butter, salt, baking soda, coffee. This is our oat milk. We're going to make our buttermilk, and 4 eggs. So first thing is to measure our dry ingredients, filter all our dry ingredients together. So this is our bowl. 3 cups of flour. Remember, you want to make sure it's leveled. 1, 2, and 3. Filter this. Filtering your flour is very important. It's not something you should omit. To help, aerate your flour, clean your flour of dirt or lumps, prevent lumps. Next, we'll pour in our sugar. 1 cup, then 1/4 cup of sugar, brown sugar. Okay. Pour in our white sugar. 1 cup, 1 1/4 cup of sugar. Now, after that, this is salt. 1½ teaspoon of salt and 1 tablespoon of baking soda. Okay, now for the baking powder. The baking powder, we're going to be using this thing, 1½ teaspoon of baking powder. So that's it. Make sure it's level. This is 1 teaspoon. 1, then the half teaspoon. Okay. So that's all the dry ingredients. I like using a whisk. To mix all my dry ingredients together. So I'm going to mix this. Now the main ingredient is our cocoa powder. I normally use baker's choice, but this is what I got around here. So you put 1 cup of cocoa powder. I'm going to filter that because sometimes cocoa powder used to have some lumps in it. One leveled cup of cocoa powder. Okay, this is okay. Now I'm going to mix this all together. The dry ingredients. So our dry ingredient is ready. Now next is the wet ingredients. Now this is oat milk. We're going to make buttermilk. Now to make buttermilk, we're going to be putting 1½ cup of milk. We're going to be putting 1½ tablespoon of vinegar. And the half. Mix this together. It's set aside. Now for the wet ingredients, we are going to put all our wet ingredients together in a bowl. So the eggs, we're going to be using 4 medium-sized eggs. Break this into a bowl. Break this into a bowl. Now that's all. Now whisk this together. Next thing you want to add here is the half cup of vegetable oil. Add in half cup of melted butter. Adding your buttermilk. Adding your flavor. 2 teaspoons of flavor. And so. Now the last thing we're going to do is to make our hot coffee. Now we're going to make it with boiling water. When I say boiling, like water you just finished boiling. That's what I'm going to use to make it. So I'm going to be pouring 1.5 cup of that. This is 1 cup and half. I'll put in 1 teaspoon of coffee. And I'll mix this together. Good, we're ready to go. Now, our dry ingredients, you pour all the wet ingredients and mix. That's it. Very fast method of baking. You don't even need a mixer for this. Then I'm going to pour the hot coffee. That's it. Our chocolate cake is ready. We pour it into our pan and then we're going to bake it. So see how our chocolate cake looks like. Its taste is really yummy. So that's the best chocolate cake ever. So I'm going to be teaching us how to grease and line our pans. Meanwhile, while we're doing this, we are going to put on our oven to preheat the oven, because our cake have to enter hot oven. If the oven is not hot, cake will fall. So now this is the baking paper, non-stick baking paper. You can use if you don't have this, you can use A4 paper, you can use brown paper, but brown paper is more preferred. Brown paper, yes, or A4 paper to do this. Now to get for the base, you put your pan on top and you use your pen to sketch it out. So here we have our base. Use scissors and cut it out. And here we have it. Our base is ready. But we don't just put this base like this. First thing we do is to oil the base. I'm using a brush. So I will just spread the butter around. And I've done that. Fix the base inside. This gives your cake a fine finish. But if you don't have, okay, sit down. We've put our base. Now it's time to put in the sides. Use this. This is it. We've measured it out. Next, you want to put in, spread butter around the sides. So we've greased the sides. Now we're going to fit in our and that's it. I like trimming this down a bit. Trim this. Just make sure it's aligned. There you have it. So I'm going to give it the last finish by putting in, spreading butter around. And spreading butter by the sides. So this is ready for our cake. Now if you don't have, okay, you don't have any of the baking sheets, or you don't have the A4 paper or anyone you can use, you can easily grease your pan like that. So I'm going to grease this pan and coat it with flour. This is the size 6 pan, this is the size 8 pan. Make sure you rub this perfectly all over. Then the next step is to put in flour, dust it, and give it a tap. So there you have it. Your pan is greased and this is greased. Now we're going to be serving in our mixture. So it's time for us to pour in our chocolate cake. Our pans are well greased. Okay. It's a cake like this. Okay. So we're going to put this in the oven until it gets ready. I'll be showing you how to make sure your cake is moist in the oven. Now this is our oven. You notice that there is a bowl of water down there. So you make sure your oven is hot already. It's preheated before putting in your cake. And you are going to put a bowl of water. Now what's the use of this bowl of water? It helps trap in the moisture, keeps your cake moist in the oven so your cake don't dry out. So it helps to release moisture into the cakes. So it's now I want you to know that when you're baking your cake, it's wrong to keep opening and closing your oven frequently. You leave it for like 40 minutes before coming to check it. By that time you are sure it must have gotten cooked. But if you keep opening and closing your oven, it will lose the heat and the cake is going to fall. Then you notice all those cakes that have a deep middle, like something like that. So to prevent that, you allow your cake bake well enough before opening your oven.